Walker Controller is slightly different from the other two ways of transcribing. It takes a bit more time to set up, but in my opinion, it's worth that extra time if you have typically conversation data to transcribe, where you have more than one people speaking, maybe people speaking at the same time, or maybe people not speaking very clearly, where you want to listen to the sound several times before you can transcribe it, or as you transcribe it. Because Walker Controller does just that. It allows you to listen to the same stretch of speech or stretch of recording several times before it moves ahead. And before I show you how to do that, I would just like to show you the Walker Controller window. So this is the Walker Controller window, where you have a lot of things, and I'll just go through this window briefly. The first thing that you need to do is click on Open Media to choose your sound file. And when you've done that, you will see the sound file duration, and you will also see the playback position in the sound file. This is important, and I will get back to that later. And when you've chosen your sound file, you need to check your preferences. So here are the preferences that you can decide on what you want to, that you can change according to your own preferences. So the first one is walk length. That is the length of the portion of your sound that you will hear each time. Loop number is the number of time that you will hear that. So these settings, you will hear 5,000 milliseconds 3 times before moving on. Backspace is the overlap between two walk lengths, you could say. So I will hear the 5,000 milliseconds, so to speak, 3 times. Then I will hear portion B, which overlaps with portion A, for 1,000 milliseconds. So the last 1,000 milliseconds of the A portion will be part of the B portion. And walk pause length is the pause between different walk lengths. At the bottom of this box, you have the shortcuts. So if you're on a Mac, you will need to activate the F keys, or these won't work. Well, they will work if you press the function key, but if you're going to transcribe a lot, I would recommend that you activate the F keys so that you can use them instead. And one very important piece of information, you will need to click in the main window, so not in Walker Controller, but in the main window, so that you can and then use the commands for the playback to work. And now we'll show how that works. So let me just leave PowerPoint and go to Clan. And I will move this little recording window that you can't see. And here I am in Clan. And I will go to Windows and choose Walker Controller. And I will choose Open Media and choose the file that is my sound file. So I know that this is 30,038 milliseconds, and I'm now at 0. I've chosen 3,000 milliseconds. I will hear them 3 times, and a backspace of 1,000 milliseconds, and a walk pause length of 100 milliseconds. So you might need to check these and try different settings depending on the material that you have. This is child data, and in this specific recording, I know that I can keep the 3,000 milliseconds in my head as I transcribe them before I go on. So you will need to just play a little with this to see what works for you and what works for the recording that you have. Now, as I said earlier, I will need to click in the main window. So here I am. And now I can use the shortcuts that, as you may remember, are down here. So I will use the F6 to start playback. And now you notice that it moved on. and then it moved on again.
Och du kan prata svenska också. Och du kan prata svenska också. Wow.
And now I'm pressing F3 just to have it stop. Now, as you notice, when you're using Walker Controller, you can transcribe and listen to the sound at the same time. You can step backward if you want to listen to the previous walk length once more, or you can step forward to move to the next walk length. And so it has quite a few advantages compared to the other ones, depending again on the type of recording that you have. But that is how you use Walker Controller.